Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MaxSpeedTV. Tonight, do we have a treat for you as the Racing for a Cause Hershey Design Xfinity Series presents the Blood Clot Awareness 150, presented by the Hub Used Sim Giveaway. Tonight we are at Bristol, and I have a good buddy in the booth with me. His name is Randy Post. Mr. Post, how you doing out there tonight?
I'm doing great, KR. How are you?
You know what? I'm at Bristol. It was my favorite oval track, pavement oval track in the iRacing service. It's going to be a great time to be out here tonight. I'm ready for it.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. This is a high-banked, high-speed track that can produce a lot of great racing, as you may have seen in the NASCAR race this weekend.
A lot of great racing coming up from NASCAR, and these guys, the Racing for a Cause guys, are really going to throw down a great show as well tonight. Speaking of shows, there is our top 10 in practice times. Coming up next, we'll be qualifying tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I have a special secret event, but it will consist of the trucks at Daytona, so make sure you tune in for that. And then next Tuesday, the RFC Hershey Design Series will be doing the Johnsonville 90 at Road America. So a busy week here at MaxSpeedTV, and Randy, you've been joining me for a lot of it. I appreciate you for that.
All right, thank you. Hey, just a little quick tidbit. Johnsonville is in my backyard of where I grew up.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. I could hear Road America from my house.
That is amazing. Did you ever make it to the track?
Always. We never had to pay because it was such a long track. We could just sit at the fence and watch.
Heck yeah, that's cool, man. That's the way to do it. Well, final 5 seconds of practice winding down here, guys, and then we will get into qualifying. Tonight we'll be in 2 different sessions. So after qualifying, we'll give you our qualifying results, and then we're gonna step away, play our Star Spangled Banner, and wait for the other session to load up. So bear with us. It might be a little bit of a longer than normal pause in between sessions. So qualifying kicking off. Randy, who you got your eyes on for right now?
Right now I'm looking at the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. It just switched to Katie Osmond in the 88.
KD Osmond in the 88 machine, not a bad car to watch. This is going to be a quick qualifying session. Drivers are turning lap times in around 23 seconds for their warm-up lap. So their fastest lap, which they're getting ready to start clicking those off, they're going to be down in the teens.
Absolutely. Now, Chris Berg already posted a 15:04.0. And I think some of these guys were running 14-second laps, if I'm not mistaken, in qualifying or practices. One person did run a 14-second lap.
Chris Berg on pole for the moment. Brent Kuhl in the Drive for Diabetes Awareness 4 machine. He is in 7th place. John Johnson, he's shutting it down in 6th. KD Osmond right now, he is in 5th as he is bringing that machine to a stop. Right now on pole, though, is the 28 of Greg Willis. So he is in the top spot. But we still got some time to go here, so he's got to hold on to it for quite a while. Kyle Vincent Gilbert, he's shutting it down. Randy?
I'm just looking at all these guys that haven't posted times. We've got about 30, I think I counted 34 cars tonight. So lots of guys getting ready to post times, as we've got about say about 15 of them have posted times as of right now.
AJ Rogers in the 17 machine, he crosses the line for a spot good enough for 9th place right now. Troy Radford in the 94, he is going to jump to the top spot here.
Doing it with a 14-second lap as well.
Yeah, first one into the 14-second bracket, a 14.882. But meanwhile, a heavy hitter, Sean Kuhl, he is just now getting out on track in that green 24 machine. We'll see if Sean Kuhl can top Troy Radford. Andy Lambert in the 70 machine. He is currently 17th spot. Sean Cool, opening lap 15.007, so he is in second place here. Crossing the line once again, and he is going to stay with that 15.007.
Just a little bit slower on that second lap, but not by much. 3/100ths of a second.
Nick Zotner out on track right now, completing his warm-up lap. And now he's going to get into the wall a little bit. That will invalidate his up-to-speed lap.
And that's a good thing about having another lap. You can always post another time. And aero doesn't really matter here, as the banking's so high you carry a lot of speed. As we see him tag the wall again in turn 1, so that'll invalidate his lap again.
Got very close to it, maybe lagged out. He is going to be scored in 17th spot, so that second lap did count for him.
Gerald West coming out on the track right now in the 86 machine.
That black and white SRTV machine, the 86. A solid season going for Jerry West out here in the RFC Hershey Design Series. And right now he's looking to add to it a little bit more. He does have 3 wins on the season. Eric Teska picking up 2 of the last 2 races, both at road courses, back to an oval. So the rest of the guys are looking to knock Eric Teska off of that roll that he is on right now.
Yeah, Jerry West taking it up to 5th place right now. As he scrapes the wall right there.
Crossing the line and validating his last lap, coming out of turn 4, turning a 15.032 as his fastest lap. And so the track goes quiet. Nobody is out on the track right now. That is 29 drivers who have taken a time out here tonight. We have several drivers who did not take a time, but everyone should be able to make the show here tonight. Final seconds in qualifying. Randy, we got a heck of a show here, and our pole sitter is Troy Radford.
Absolutely. 150 laps tonight around this absolutely crazy track. I'm so excited to see this, especially with this many cars on the track.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race. While we can, let's go ahead and go through our results here real quick. On your front row will be Troy Radford and Sean Cool. Row 2 will be Greg Willis and Chris Berg. Row 3 will be Jerry West, Dylan Blankenship. Row 4 will be Preston Boers and Eric Teska. Row 5 will be K.D. Osmond and Ricky All-Star Harden. Row 6 will be A.J. Rogers and Aaron Tolhurst. Row 7, David Roach and Kyle Gilbert. Row 8 will be Tom Quattlebaum and Doug Johnson.
Row 9 is going to be Tyler Hilton and John Johnson. Row 10 is going to be Nick Zonter and Andreas Lambert. Row 11 is going to be Douglas Wysocki and Peyton Johnson. Row 12 is going to be Zach Coyer and Rick Greenaway. Row 13 is going to be Jeffrey Clifton and Justin Rigsby. Row 14 is going to be Brent Cool and Sean Wilder. Row 15 is going to be Russell Hancock and Steve Baker. Row 16 is going to be Dustin German and Chad Meadows. Row 17 is going to be Daryl Ricketts and Dustin Ping, and Ray Radford rounding out the field in row 18.
All right, it looks like we have caught up with our pole sitter, Troy Radford, making it out here tonight. You missed last week at Mid-Ohio, but tonight putting a stamp on your performance as being spectacular for qualifying.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, last week was absolutely a heartbreaker. I got caught up at work and just couldn't get out there. And, Mid-Ohio is one of my favorite tracks out there. I absolutely love the place. So, hated to miss it. Glad to be here this week. And, the crew really put together a solid piece for me tonight.
Great car out there for qualifying. How is that going to translate into a good race for you so far tonight?
You know, the main thing for Bristol is just staying out of the mess. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of places to hide here. So I figured being up front is as good a place to hide as possible. So, you know, get up there, try to stay out of it, and really just, you know, get 150 laps in and make it done.
Make it done. Well, good luck to you in tonight's race. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you in Victory Lane.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right, that is our pole sitter, Troy Radford. And Randy, we're going to step away, do our Star Spangled Banner. But before we do, man, I tell you, I'm pumped up for this.
Absolutely, I'm super excited for this race.
All right, guys, nobody go anywhere. As I said, we're going to load up another session. Might be a little bit longer than normal break for this, so bear with us, and we'll be right back after this.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
MaxSpeedTV would like to thank our partners here at MaxSpeedTV, starting with the Colby Eye Paints. If you're in the market for a new paint job for your car, check out Colby's Eye Paints on Facebook. Need a replica paint of your real-life car? Colby's Eye Paints has you covered. Check out Colby Eye Paints on Facebook. Also by Hershy Design. Hershy Design Company is your one-stop graphics shop if you're in need of an iRacing paint, league, team, or business logo, or want the logo on some sweet swag. Hit up Orion at the Hershy Design Company. You can find them on Facebook by searching HERSHY Design Company. Also by the Sim Speed Shop, simspeedshop.com. You can check them out for all your iRacing sim needs. Ohio IndyCar League jumping on board this season with as an official sponsor of MaxSpeedTV. They are also accepting not just patrons from Ohio, but from all over. Also, iBog for all your iRacing broadcast overlay graphics done specifically by Jason Allison, one of the masters at it. So thank you to Jason. And also, last but not least, Wise Guys. You can check them out at Reverb Nation. That is spelt with a Z. So check them out on Reverb Nation. We would like to thank all of the sponsors at MaxSpeedTV and partners.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bristol Motorspeedway, as the field is doing their final warm-up here before the racing starts. The second session is loaded up. We're waiting for just a few more drivers to get in, get loaded up, and then we will line them up and let them rip. Randy, we're watching this second practice session, but some familiar names at the top of the chart still.
Yeah, I think those guys kind of figured something out to where they're going to be fast all night. We're seeing a lot more 14-second times, so I do believe.
Several drivers turning a 14 or a sub 15-second time. In fact, the top 9, all of those fastest laps are sub 15 seconds. You know, the track's changed a little bit. The temperature maybe cooled off some, so gonna be a great race here tonight with a lot of action. We're gonna try and bring it all to you.
Yeah, and I'm thinking we're gonna see some tempers flare tonight. I do believe it.
Tempers are gonna be flaring for sure. The nostrils will flare. It's going to have everything you could want for drama here tonight.
It's gonna be so fast. You're gonna blink and this race is gonna be over. 150 laps at 15 seconds a lap. It's gonna be so quick.
It is gonna be quick. Qualifying, very, very important. And we got to talk to our pole sitter, and that was Troy Radford. But another thing that really isn't factored in a lot of strategies here in iRacing is that Bristol really penalizes the drivers on the backstretch pit, because you enter your own specific pit lane. Nobody has to drive all the way around like they do in NASCAR. And so what that allows is pretty much the backstretch people are stationary and slower in their pit stops than the ones on the front stretch, due to just how it all works. So we're going to see some pit stops tonight, and we'll see exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, I know they were talking about how to do the pit stops under caution without going a lap down earlier, kind of figuring it out to where the guys that are on the backstretch don't get kind of messed up and miss their pit box or whatever and get a black flag for it, because it can be tricky. And I know iRacing's been working on how to do this, but with one pit road, but I don't see it being anytime soon.
But by golly, they could put blue cones out there.
I love the blue cones. I think the blue cones were an absolutely great idea.
I think it was a silly idea. But you know what? We're allowed to have different opinions and still be friends. If we were friends to begin with.
I was gonna say, I didn't know we were friends. I didn't know we were on that level yet.
No. We're not on that level yet. You haven't brought me any pizza or beer.
You mean adult water?
Yes, adult sodas.
Should be getting ready to go racing here soon, I do believe.
Yep, just waiting for a few more drivers to load up. A couple of issues going on. So we'll work on getting that sorted out, or I shouldn't say we will work on that. The admins for the league working on getting stuff fixed and sorted. Meanwhile, we can watch some more practice.
Absolutely, I'm loving watching these guys run around. Some of these guys are still trying to figure out the track, and it's kind of cool to watch them do it.
Steve Baker in the 55, he is pulling it to a stop right there. Right in front of traffic. That's all right. That's practice. The 70 machine of Andy Lambert, kind of zeroing in on him right now. Lambert has missed a few races this season in the Xfinity, but the late models, he is the admin for the Racing for a Cause late model series, and that's going to be starting up in 2 weeks, I believe. And that will be on Wednesday night, so make sure you guys join us here for that. That is always a good time. The late models on short tracks. Oh man, a lot of great racing action there. And Andy almost picked up his first win last season. We'll see if he can get it done this year, or season.
Yeah, winning is becoming a lot harder nowadays with all these guys starting to figure out what makes these cars tick here at these different tracks. Some guys, they'll win a lot of races at a certain track and then be like mid-pack for all the other tracks. And see that in real racing as well, so it's pretty cool to see guys excel in certain areas.
Yeah, a driver can have a natural tendency to a track. I know when I first hit Iowa, I was fast right out of the gate in Iowa, so that was a surprise to me.
Yeah, I have to say my surprise to me was USA on dirt. That was my surprise.
Yeah, you were good there.
Absolutely.
See,
Winning races left and right.
I couldn't figure out that track for the longest time. I had to spend a lot of time practicing that, and finally got it right, along with Williams Grove. Just never could quite figure out Williams Grove to where I was really strong. But Eldora, I won a lot of races at Eldora.
Yeah, I could run USA really well. I couldn't run Williams Grove because I tried to run the bottom line at Williams Grove, and I'd run the high line at USA.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
They're like the same, but completely different tracks once you start driving them.
oh yeah. So and different tracks require a little bit of a different finesse, a little bit of some tracks you can really charge into the corner, and other tracks you really have to back the corner up, and that just kind of shows what kind of driving style you like.
Absolutely. And talking about different tracks, we're at Bristol tonight. Bristol's a completely different track. As you know, the high line at Bristol is going to be the fast line. I expect to see a lot of these guys running the high line here. Unlike some of the mile and a halves where they're on the apron in the corners trying to get the lowest possible line they can.
Yeah, the battle will be for the high side, but we are going to see some really good cars make some moves down on the bottom as well, especially when we get into a longer tire or a fuel run and the tires really start to wear out. We'll see who took care of their equipment and who has used up their tires, and the guys who have better have saved something in the car will probably be able to get a good run down low, come off a corner down low, get a run down a straightaway, and complete the pass in about a half a lap.
And a key to saving your equipment here at a short track like this with the high banking is if you're coming into the corner in the high lane, you need to stay in the high lane to save tires. If you're dropping from high to low, that's where your tires are going to scrub and they're going to lose a lot of grip there. They're going to heat up a lot faster, and they're just going to wear so much more faster when jump from lane to lane.
All right, guys, that was it for practice. Get ready, because the main event kicking off right now, the field taking to the grid. If you missed it, we went through our qualifying order, but we can do it once again for you all. Row number 1, Troy Radford and Sean Cool. Row 2, Gregory Willis and Chris Berg. Row 3, Jerry West and Dylan Blankenship. Row 4, Preston Boers and Eric Teska. Row 5 will be K.D. Osbin, and on the outside of row 5 will be the 21 of Ricky All-Star Harden. Row 6 is A.J. Rogers and Aaron Tolhurst. Row 7 will be David Roach and Kyle Gilbert.
Row 8 is going to be Thomas Quattlebaum and Douglas Johnson. Row 9 is going to be Tyler Hilton and John Johnson. Row 10 is going to be Nick Zonter and Andreas Lambert. Row 11 is going to be Douglas Wysocki and Peyton Johnson. Row 12 is going to be Zach Coyer and Rick Greenaway. Row 13 is going to be Jeffrey Clifton and Justin Rigsby. Row 14 is going to be Brent Kuhl and Sean Wilder. Row 15 is going to be Russell Hancock and Steve Baker. Row 16 is going to be Dustin German and Chad Meadows. Row 17 is going to be Daryl Ricketts and Dustin Payne. That's going to round out the field for tonight, KR.
Large field out here tonight, but in control of this field right now on pole is that black and orange 94 of Troy Radford, and that machine looked fast in all practice sessions, taking the pole in qualifying. This one is going to be a car to watch here tonight, but we cannot count out that 24 machine of Sean Cool.
Yeah, and I was watching Troy Radford and talking to him a little bit before the race, and he said this is his favorite track to drive. He absolutely loves it. He's really fast here. As we said earlier, some guys are just really fast in certain tracks, so this is his niche.
All right, lights are out on the pace car field, working its way down the backstretch. Pace car getting ready to peel off. League rules go on green for the first start. So Troy Radford, Sean Cool going to get a good start here. Gotta be ready. Get up on the wheel. Hold on to your hats, folks, because here we go.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out at Bristol. 150 laps underway. And Sean Cool getting a run on the outside.
Trying to keep up with the guys in the back here, make sure everybody got a good start, and no chaos is going to ensue as the 15 and the 69 get together, and they're able to save it. No caution so far as the 55 goes around, and he's able to keep it off the track, so I don't think we're going to have a caution.
55 machine is Steve Baker getting that machine up and rolling, but he is going to lose a lap here very early on.
Good job by Steve Baker of keeping it off the track and not bringing out a caution and collecting everything. Is able to get if he stays the last car, or the first car on a lap down, I should say, he will be the lucky dog come the next caution.
So we're riding on board with Chris Berg. You're looking out the back of this machine. You can see the field just all high, low, in the middle, all over this track. Driving space is at a premium. These guys will be fighting for every inch that they can find. Now out the front, not as scary as Chris Berg is running in third place. He's only got 2 cars in front of him, but here in a moment, they're going to be at the back of the pack, putting cars a lap down, and it will just be a huge old tilt-a-whirl at that point.
Dustin German did come down pit road already. He does have 5 laps on these tires now, 6 laps, but showing that he was on pit road for 30 seconds.
So a quick stop for Dustin German, getting back out there. Maybe had some damage he wanted to try and get fixed, get it hammered out. Right now, he is the only car 1 lap down. And I see that now Steve Baker is also 1 lap down. So the 55 machine is the first car 1 lap down. But as I mentioned, they're going to catch the back of the field. But yellow flag's going to come out before that happens.
I had just seen who it was, and then it went away real quick. Ooh. Trying to catch it. It looks like it's going to be the 09 of David Roach.
As David Roach is on pit road right now, so we will back this up and go to a MaxSpeedTV instant replay, figure out how much that machine is damaged, and it looks like David Roach is going to call it a night. So pretty good damage to that thing. Got loose coming off of 4, pushed up into the wall, smashed it hard, black smoke billowing from that thing. And it looks like that is a terminal night for the 09 machine.
Yeah, and they do not have fast repairs here, so he would have been on pit road for the rest of the night, sitting in that car waiting for them to possibly put a new motor in it.
Yep, so several cars coming down pit road, but our leaders have not, except for Greg Willis is one of the cars that has hit pit road, along with the 67 of Chris Berg. And now everyone else on the backstretch is going to be pitting, and here's where that plays out. The people pitting on the backstretch have to maintain essentially pace car speed, but the ones who pit on the front stretch are able to rip it around once they get out of their pit stall. So we're out of pit lane, so that is where the big advantage comes from when you pit on the front stretch.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they do it, but I guess it works.
Works a little bit, but not in the best of ways. Alright, so 12 laps completed. We are working our first caution here tonight. Sean Cool is the race leader. He has led for all 11 laps that have been completed. Troy Radford, our pole sitter, starting on the inside line. This league does not allow lane choice, but I have a feeling that if there was lane choice, Radford would have picked the high side.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already talked about how that high side is going to be the fast line either way. But I'm looking at Brett Cool here. I think I'm going to have to pick him for the race.
Brett Cool,
I think he's gonna be my pick for tonight.
And what have you seen that has led you to believe that he is the one to pick?
I don't know. I just got a strong feeling about it, and he's got my favorite NFL player's number tonight. So.
Huh. A 4, huh? Is that
Absolutely.
like how many touchdowns he got in scoring a point?
No. Brett
No.
Favre.
Oh yeah, how many home runs did he get?
420.
That's a lot of home runs.
Absolutely. And I think he ended the career with 427, to be 100% exact.
Well, maybe he'll sit in the penalty box for not getting 500 for you. Anyways, lights are out. Pace car getting ready to pull off. Randy, why don't you call this green flag?
Oh boy. Pace car getting ready to pull off here. Out of 3, you should pull off in that Mustang tonight. Sean Cool leading them to the green flag. As Sean Cool gets a massive jump. Troy Radford going as well. The front 4 do get a little bit separated from the back of the pack. Going into turn 1, Sean Cool has an absolutely great lead at 0.2 of a second, but Troy Radford closing in on him real quick here. Running that low line, surprisingly, should see them drift up to the high line here in the next couple laps.
A.J. Rogers in the 17 machine trying the high side on the 86 as the yellow's going to come out. And it looks like the 3 of Chad Meadows going around and collecting several other cars as well. We're going to back this up, go to our MaxSpeedTV replay, figure out exactly where this went wrong for some of these drivers.
Yeah, I've seen quite the cluster going on. The 44 was in it. I think Dustin German might have been in it as well. Yeah, I'm showing the 388 being really injured, it looks like, smoking quite a bit. That's Douglas Johnson.
The 44 of Daryl Ricketts. Looks like he's going to get a little piece of this as well. As you said, the 388 making contact. Going up and over is Doug Johnson. Right on the nose of this machine one final time. Little bit of contact. Catching the back tire. Around he goes. Drilled up on the side on 2 wheels. So heavy damage to that machine. So he will be on pit road for quite some time trying to get all that fixed.
Yeah, we've had quite a couple cars pack it up and go behind the wall already. I'm showing David Roach has packed it up and gone home, as well as Dustin Ping. Some of these guys are coming back. Something might have happened, so just Dustin Ping and David Roach packing it up and going behind the wall at the moment.
Doug Johnson in that 388 will be on pit road for an extended amount of time trying to get all of that hammered out. Chad Meadows in the 3, he's also on in a little bit of an extended pit road stop. And the 25 of Russell Hancock, he has been on and off pit road. He has lost a lap in the process. That 25 machine going a lap down, trying to hammer out some issues there.
Yeah. Lots of cars on pit road for an extended amount of time. We had Russell Hancock on pit road for 40 seconds. Chad Meadows still on pit road. Douglas Wysocki on pit road for 45 seconds. Douglas Johnson still on pit road. Lots of guys were on pit road for quite the time.
So working a lap 20 of 150, we are on our second caution here. And with a full field here at Bristol, sometimes the starting or opening stages of the race are a bit long because of the cautions, but then the field kind of thins out, crashes takes its toll, and then drivers find they got some room to run, and the cautions will back off a little bit.
Yeah, and when the cautions back up, we're going to be looking for some green flag stops. And I did not catch earlier, how long are we going to be able to go on fuel?
Our race analysis just now showing up. Tonight's race, 150 laps, 75 miles. Tire window is about 20 to 25 laps. Fuel window is 75 to 78. That pace car getting ready to come off, and we're going to ride on board with Troy Radford.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. Radford on the high side. Going to dive down into the corner, following in the 24's tire tracks.
Yeah, Sean Cool getting absolutely great starts on these restarts, but Troy Radford running him down pretty quick. I think Sean Cool knows that Troy Radford has definitely got a faster car, and
The yellow flag
he's
is
trying
out.
to keep him behind him. As we have another caution coming out.
Looks like the 4 of Brent Cool nosed into the inside wall, along with the 67 of Chris Berg.
That's what I'm showing. Go back and watch this one, see what happened here.
Chris Berg on the inside, Brent Cool on the outside in that 4 machine. Down into the corner they go, making contact, a little bit of miscommunication there, and then Brent Cool bouncing off the outside wall and ricocheting into the 67, and they spin down together, causing that caution.
Yeah, Brent Cool's got quite the beat up car now. The rear end's looking like it's got a point on it.
That 4 machine did have a bit of damage before this in the right rear quarter. Now he's got some in the left rear corner as well.
More aerodynamic.
Aerodynamics at Bristol, pfft, who needs them?
I don't know. Sean Cool might need him because Troy Radford was running him down pretty quick, it looked like.
He might have been, but I'll tell you who was catching both of them, and that was the 17 of AJ Rogers. Rogers really trying to work through this field. He started in 11th, already up to 3rd in just a few green flag laps that we've had, so that man is on a mission to get to the front.
Yeah, after watching these guys practice a little bit, maybe you picked up on something they were doing and found out how to get to the front real quick.
Yeah, and I have seen him. He's running a little bit of a higher line than everyone else that is running up front, and it's working for him very well right now.
Absolutely. Lots of good cars still untouched so far tonight. We've got Katie Osmond. Looks like he's got maybe that's just the way the car's painted, but he's got a little bit of damage, not much. Running in 7th position, and as we saw last week, he finished 2nd place by quite a margin at Mid-Ohio.
Had a good run going on the road course last week, finishing 2nd, as you said. And here he's running 7th, trying to improve on that a little bit. And you know what? That 88 machine is one of my favorite drivers to watch. There's a little bit of a no-quit attitude behind that wheel there.
Absolutely. And that's what you got to have in a race like this when people are beating and banging a little bit. As long as the car still goes, you got to go.
Hi. Meanwhile, these drivers, just as anxious as we are to get back underway, and it looks like the lights have gone out on the pace car field, forming up side by side. Sean Cool in the 24 machine has got to get another great restart over the 94 of Troy Radford. Those guys going to make up our starting row for this restart. And row number 2 will be A.J. Rogers and Jerry West. I'll be interested to see what that 17 machine does. He's been wanting to try to get to the high side, but now he might be trapped down on the bottom. The lights are out on the pace car. There it goes, peeling off. And Sean Cool in the 24, and he is away. It looked like AJ Rogers gave him a little nudge saying, get going. Radford going to slice down to the bottom, easily clearing AJ Rogers on that restart. And the 86, Jerry West, going to get a run down the straightaway, lose it a little bit as he overdrove the corner through 3 and 4.
Everybody seems to be a little spread out now, not too close to anybody. Like we've seen on some of these restarts, to where they're real close to each other, giving each other a little bit of room so that they can run some green flag laps here tonight.
We're riding on board with K.D. Osmond as he is in 6th place right now, battling the 58 of Kyle Gilbert with the 86 of Jerry West right in front of him. And you see just how much of a run you can get down the straightaways here, working that high side. But you got to hit your marks perfectly, and that inside lane, you can't be worried about it when they charge up on you a little bit there. As you see the 58 get way out in front of Osmond in the 88, but Osmond battling right back.
Absolutely. He's got the 86 of Jerry West in front of him. Would not surprise me to see this 3-wide battle here for 4th.
Troy Radford going to concede the spot to the 17 of A.J. Rogers, as it is an early in the run. Maybe Radford not wanting to challenge for that position just yet. We will have a pit stop somewhere in the halfway mark of this race. No one can make it on fuel, but they will be able to make it on one stop. So we'll see these guys start to hit pit road. That fuel window will open about halfway through this race.
Ooh, we got the 86 of Jerry West got into the wall there. Katie Osmond came down, way down on the track to avoid it, and Kyle Gilbert able to keep it together without collecting anybody.
Tyler Hilton in the 52. Right now he's giving that car a good ride. He's in 6th place, started 17th. So moving through this field very nicely, but right now he's got the 93 of Nick Zotner right underneath him. Nick gonna clear him cut up in front of him, and Tyler Hilton having to lift a little bit, losing some momentum coming off the corner there.
Last week's winner, Eric Teske, in 17th position right now, and he's struggling a little bit keeping this car up on that high line. He's gotten into the wall a little bit, but he was, as he said last week, he was really looking forward to coming back to the oval side of things because he really wanted a challenge.
The 69 of Rick Greenaway, right behind him. That car looking a little bit wadded up. Not the prettiest or the straightest of cars, but good enough to be in 18th place right now. And he is battling several other cars for that spot. And Rick Greenaway going to get into the wall with Peyton Johnson. Collecting
the 08, I think that is, of Thomas Quattlebaum.
Caution coming out. Back that one up just a little bit. We're going to ride on board here with Tom Quattlebaum. See it happen just ahead of us. Rick Greenaway, Peyton Johnson. Johnson going to the high side. Greenaway not quite knowing he's there when they get together. Greenaway sliding up, contact being made. And then Greenaway sliding down in front of Quattlebaum. And that 08 machine making contact with his right front.
Lots of guys coming down pit road. Sean Cool staying out on 43 lap old tires. Everybody else coming down pit road have a lot, I guess, younger tires than Sean Cool. So I'm expecting to see a little bit slower start out of Sean Cool compared to everybody else.
Under yellow, why not make a pit stop here? Some of these guys might be trying to think about with enough cautions they could stretch it. But man, that is a long way to go and a big gamble. But having fresh tires right now, AJ Rogers comes off pit road in second place. Those 4 fresh tires are going to really work to his advantage here over Sean Cool.
Absolutely. He's going to get a massive jump on the start if Sean Cool spins the tires and pretty much give the position to AJ Rogers.
The 24 machine of Sean Cool has led all 43 laps here, but what looks like could be a strategy shortcoming might have to end up conceding that top spot to the 17 of AJ Rogers. But I will tell you, that 24 machine, he can drive the wheels off of this thing. He's going to be able to stay one of those drivers that can hang on with older tires.
Absolutely, and I've seen him run a couple other races in different places, and he can really keep a hold of that thing and run really good, no matter the conditions.
AJ Rogers, Troy Radford, those guys hungry for a win. The 17 really wants a win. He comes into tonight as our quote-unquote points leader. He has acquired the most points in this league, but he doesn't have a win yet on the season. And setting the stage for the championship run, wins are all that counts. And if we don't have enough race winners, well, then we go in on points. So AJ Rogers, he's got the points to do it, but he is in danger if we get a few new winners here before the regular season ends.
Yes, he's really digging for that win, and it's looking so far like he might have a shot tonight.
Lights are out on the pace car field, all nice and pretty. 2x2, pace car peeling off. Sean Cool getting a great jump over AJ Rogers. KD Osmond pushing that 17 down the front stretch. Down into turn 1 and 2 they go. Osmond on the outside of Radford with a great run. And the gap closing up quickly as the 17 reels in the 24.
KD Osmond, as the 17 is going on the low side of the 24 of Sean Cool, and they are side by side through 1 and 2, coming through 3 and 4. AJ Rogers is going to have the position, and he's going to be scored as second as the 94 Troy Radford goes around.
Troy Radford, his favorite track, heavy contact here tonight at Bristol. Not looking good as that car went straight to the tow truck. So let's back that one up. We watched it happen live. Contact being made between K.D. Osmond and Troy Radford is going to send that 94 machine spinning. Watch this here down the straightaway. Radford challenging Osmond on the inside, trying to follow in the 17's tire tracks. Looked like just a little miscommunication between the two drivers. Greg Willis also getting a part of that as well.
Yeah, I think just a misjudgment of how far K.D. Osmond was on the high side. I think Radford was thinking he was up against the wall. He had a little bit more wiggle room to push that thing, but just wasn't there and caught the tail end of K.D. Osmond there.
So Sean Cool in the 24 machine making his pit stop. He's on the pit road fixing some damage, it would seem, as he's already got the 4 tires on it. So now AJ Rogers going to be restarting on the inside with K.D. Osmond on the outside. Both these guys on the same pit strategy.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not sure, this will be a really good battle for first place because K.D. Osmond ran real great last week. AJ Rogers is showing that he's running real strong tonight here. So I think it'll be a good battle for first position here right now.
All right, a little bit of housekeeping to do here. Rick Greenaway in the 69 has pulled it behind the wall. Looks like he is done for the night, along with the 67 of Chris Berg. Dustin German, looks like they are done but have not pulled their scorecard yet. He is in 28. Doug Johnson in 29th is done for the night. Sean Wilder will be scored 30th. 31st, Chad Meadows. And 32nd will be Daryl Ricketts. 33rd, David Roach. And our last car out there, out of the race, Dustin Peing in the 34 machine.
About 97 laps left tonight at Bristol Motorspeedway, and we still got a lot of good racing in front of us. We're on lap 53 right now, and it does not feel like we're on lap 53.
No, and these guys, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, as the attrition starts to mount up higher and higher, there's going to be more and more room. We're going to get into some long green flag runs. It wouldn't surprise me if we ended up going the rest of the way green flag here, but that's going to be a tough chore to do, especially if you throw in the fact that they would have to make a pit stop. And green flag pit stops here at Bristol are very exciting.
They can be very exciting because you're doing about 140 miles an hour coming off of those corners sometimes, and I think pit speed here is 55 miles an hour, so you got to slow that thing down to 55 real quick in such a short time.
All right, lights are out on the pace car. AJ Rogers in that 17 machine got control of this field, waiting for the cue to go, and there he goes, taking off.
Green flag.
Getting a good jump over Osmond. Nick Zotner in the 93 gonna tow the line with him right there on the bottom. Those two cars able to clear the 88. Osmond gonna tuck down into third in that sun drop black machine.
Yeah, Nick Zonter got a great start with AJ Rogers, able to clear the 88 of K.D. Osmond. Ricky Harden in the 21 car running pretty solid on that high side next to the 29 of Preston Forrest, 58 of Kyle Gilbert, and the 51 of Dylan Blankenship right in front of them. About running mid, or not the high line, but they're running about midway up the track, as the 21 of Ricky Harden is going to take it to the high side that time to try and find some speed up there.
21 of Ricky, All-Star Harden running in 6th place as the yellow's going to come out once again. It looks like trouble for the 24 of Sean Cool. Go back this up, check out our replay here, see what our cameras caught. That 24 machine just had gotten off of pit road, spent some time fixing some damage. Down the front stretch he goes into turn 1 and 2 on the outside of the 25 machine, making contact, getting into the wall on the outside, sliding all the way down to the inside wall. Heavy contact on that inside wall. Got to be concerned about the handling of that car at this point. That was a hard impact on the inside.
Yeah, still got some power in that car. I think you should be able to keep that car on the track for quite a while, even though it's quite beat up.
That 24 machine making its way to its pit stall. It's not got a whole lot of time to work on it, as the field is already getting into turn number 3.
AJ Rogers still the leader. Nick Zonter on the outside of row 1. Katie Osmond on the inside of row 2. And Dylan Blankenship on the outside of row 2.
Now be the restart for you here as the lights are still on the pace car. Sean Cool able to get off of pit road before losing a lap. They have got to work on that thing as fast as possible, because with a 48-second pace lap here, you don't have a lot of time before the field comes around to lap you.
No, and 47 seconds seems like a long time, but really it's not. You see tracks like Daytona, those guys are pace lapping at 2 minutes a lap, which just goes by so very slow. And this track, it's only a half mile long, so there's really not a lot to cover in a half mile.
Yeah, it doesn't take any time at all for the field to catch up to you when you hit your pit stall. But Sean Cool coming down pit road one more time, as it looks like the field is working its way around the backstretch. Lights are on the pace car, so Sean Cool is going to have a little bit more time to fix on that thing, but not a whole lot, as the field working through 3 and 4 now.
Working through 3 and 4, coming across the line right now. Oop, nope, never mind. I lied. I was a little bit behind.
It can happen, Randy. It's okay.
They are coming across the line now, this time for real, as the lights are going to go out on the pace car, and they are going to start getting double file.
Field forming up nicely, as you mentioned. AJ Rogers, Nick Zotner are going to make up row number 1. Row 2 will be the 88 of K.D. Osmond and the 51 Dylan Blankenship. Those are your 2 front rows for this restart. Field getting ready, waiting very patiently for that pace car to get out of their way. Looks like a little confusion on the start here. Nick Zotner not getting up there.
No, he lost connection, it looked like, and then randomly came back and about midway through the field. So that's really unfortunate for that outside line and anybody else behind him, because they are all going to have black flags now because of the connection issue.
What a wild race this is shaping up to be, as AJ Rogers is out front now and looks like he's starting to pull away from KD Osmond, but will be only a matter of time before we start seeing black flags getting cleared.
Yeah, I'm already seeing them go clear here. Russell Hancock got an EOL penalty, not not a black flag clearance, unless he like lost all connection and
The yellow flag is out.
something had happened. But we do have another caution here. Trying to see who it is.
The 4 of Brent Cool going around, and he is pulling that one into pit lane.
Yeah, Brent Cool going around. I'm watching back to see what had happened here.
Brent Cool in the 4 machine riding around on the high side. Following the 96, Brent Cool's just going to get in the outside wall all by himself and go for a spin as he smacks the inside wall. And that is what's going to bring out our caution for the moment. So guys, we're going to step away for just a minute. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the field is still circling around under caution. This is our 7th caution of the night. We do have 78 laps to go. We are nearing that halfway mark, lap 75. And Randy, it's been an eventful race so far.
Green flag.
The green flag is out.
AJ Rogers getting a good jump again. And someone we haven't seen up front recently is the 29 of Preston Boris and the 96 of Eric Teske, up to 4th position right now.
That 29 machine of Preston Boers, he's got some damage on that, but it's not slowing him down. He is really starting to rip that high side and run around the top and get a great run down the straightaway.
Absolutely. And catching AJ Rogers as well. I'm gonna check here. I think they're on the same. They are on the same pit strat. Same pit strategy. So they've got the same old equipment that they're working with. Everybody else is on a little bit newer equipment, a lot of bit newer equipment, really. So these guys really holding their own with those old tires.
KD Osmond in 3rd, first car out on track with 4 fresh tires. all over the back bumper of that 29 machine. Osmond trying to get a win. It'd be his first win of the season, but he's got 2 cars in his way. Both of those cars are hungry for a win.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have quite the race for a win tonight. Katie Osmond brings it down to the low side as the 29 of Preston Boris on the high side. These guys are going to battle it out for second place, and I think Katie Osmond's going to have a little bit of an advantage being on that low side with new tires.
So far that advantage hasn't gained him a spot, but he is still trying. Now he's looking a little to the high side, try to get a run down the straightaway.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where all the other cars went, because we've lost. Ooh, the 52. He's going to get into the 15. Almost spinning him around, but he's able to keep it together. Eric Teske has dropped to 7th position now. That lead pack is really pulled away from everybody else, 7th on back.
The 25 machine of Russell Hancock out front of this second group that we got going on here. So when something like this happens, it kind of tells me maybe there was an issue on the start of on the restart.
Absolutely. Try and catch up with, let's see where Sean Cool in 12th position. Got quite a bit of damage still on that car, but he's running about mid-pack of that second group. And he's still moving. I mean, he's passing Jeffrey Clifton right now, and he's going to start working on Dylan Blankenship here soon, as well as Russell Hancock.
Dylan Blankenship was up front for the restart. You know, he was one of those guys who probably got a black flag. That's, if I remember right, one of those ones. Hopefully all the black flags got cleared. I don't see where anyone has served a penalty or had to come down pit road for those.
I do not think anybody got one, which is a miracle, because usually when something like that happens, the entire field gets a black flag for some reason.
Steve Baker in the 55 machine, after being a lap down very early on in the race, he has battled back and he is currently in 6th place. Started 30th, running 6th. That is a heck of a move up through that field.
Absolutely. I think he would get the Hard Charger award that these guys were talking about earlier, that they're going to bring on new sponsors here for the next season.
That 55 machine gaining 24 spots inside everyone inside the top 20. Not even close to what he's done. As the yellow flag has come out, looks like we got one car going around.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton as the 29 of, just lost it. Preston Boris catches the inside wall while slowing up to miss Jeffrey Clifton.
So Preston getting on the brakes, going for a spin. Let's back this up and see what brought out the caution as Jeffrey Clifton goes around here in the 15 machine. A hard battle with the 85 and the 25. The 25 going to bounce off the outside wall into Jeffrey Clifton in the 15. And Jeffrey going to get it rolling. Caution flag out. AJ Rogers going down to the inside along with Preston Boers, and Preston gonna just lock it up and tag that wall.
Preston Boers really taking long, or no, maybe not. I've seen him dropping a couple positions, but here he comes back out. He should be back up there pretty quick here. I don't see any smoke or anything, so might just be cosmetic damage that caught that wall.
Tyler Hilton hitting his pit box now. AJ Rogers did make a pit stop. So Rogers getting some tires. The 21, Ricky All-Star Harden, tucked in right behind the 17, but out front is the 88 of KD Osmond and Kyle Vincent Gilbert in the 58 right behind him. That is first and second place.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a good show now that KD Osmond's out front, AJ Rogers in third. Those guys are going to have that bottom line on the start, and we've seen those guys run a great bottom line, and I think that we're going to have a great battle because it's going to force AJ Rogers to possibly go on that high side line.
45 machine of Doug Wysocki. He is currently scored 3 laps down. Right now he is trapped between the leader and the pace car. So he is waiting for that wave around. Try and get one of those laps back. Along with the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum. Those two are in a race for position. That is 18th and 19th place. But Jeffrey Clifton and the 15 machine pulling it behind the wall. And that is going to do it for him tonight.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see all these guys drop or taking it behind the wall because we had 34 cars start tonight, and that's a sizable field for a track like this. And it's down to, I'm showing 19, 20, 21 cars still in the session, but multiple laps down for some of these cars. I'm showing Aaron Tolhurst minus 13 laps right now. Still out on track though.
Lights are out on the pace car. Field really starting to thin out now. 94 laps completed. We're working towards our next green flag. So guys, hold on to your hats. We're going to ride on aboard here with KD Osmond for this restart. Pace car peeling off. And here we go. Green flag is out, and away we go down the front stretch. Down into turn number 1. Pulling those side forces. Getting that lateral G on your side of your head. And then ripping it down the next straightaway. And just like that, we're coming around to complete a lap.
Yeah, KD Osmond got a great start. He's out about 3/10 ahead of Kyle Gilbert right now. AJ Rogers in 3rd, Ricky Harden in 4th, and Sean Cool back up to 5th position right now. Eric Teska in 6th, Steve Baker in 7th, Andreas Lambert in 8th, Justin Rigsby in 9th, and Preston Boris in 10th. That's going to round out the top 10 so far as we're approaching lap 100 here soon.
Sean Cool battling with Eric Teska in that 96 and the 55 of Steve Baker, diving down to the inside of Eric Teska. Eric gonna let him have that lane, and Steve Baker in that 55 trying to take away 6th spot, and the yellow flag has come out.
Looks like it's going to be the 25 of Russell Hancock this time, as he is smoking really, really bad on the backstretch.
Smoking is not only bad for your health, but it's also bad for the health of your car. All right, watching our replay here, the 25 machine of Russell Hancock diving down into the corner. Let's see where things go wrong for him. Working down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2 on the outside of the 86 of Jerry West. Going to tag that outside wall, slide down to the inside wall, and back up in front of traffic, but nobody around that made contact with him. Everyone able to clear him.
Absolutely. Nobody getting collected. That's always a good thing to have, is if you get a self spin like that, you really try to keep it off the track and not collect anybody else and not wreck anybody else's race.
So KD Osmond, your leader for right now. Osmond has led for 10 laps so far. Sean Cool has led 48 laps here tonight. He has the most laps led for the moment. Does not have that locked down, as AJ Rogers has led for 41 laps. So those two drivers working their way back to the top spot so far have led for almost over half of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I don't know what we're gonna or what to think for the rest of this race, as we've got 50 laps left. It's gonna start taking off real fast here. Next thing you know, we'll have 20 laps to go, and these guys will be talking to us up here in the booth.
Yeah, and we might have seen the final pit stops on our previous caution for a lot of these guys, but strategies can change to whatever they need. someone might decide, hey, tires is going to win this thing for me. And someone might say, I need to stay out. So could be, well, we just got to wait and see what's going to happen next.
Absolutely. I was going to say that the tires can cause you to pit one more time. If these tires get real loose on these guys, and where they just have nothing to hold on to anymore, I would expect to see these guys pit. But we've got a pretty cool track at 77 degrees, only 72 degrees outside with a 3-mile-an-hour wind. I don't see any reason that these tires shouldn't last them another 50 laps.
Lights are out on the pace car field, mostly formed up already. A lot of these drivers ready to go. Kyle Gilbert on the outside of KD Osmond for this restart. AJ Rogers in the 17 and the 21 of Ricky All-Star Harden on the outside of row number 2. Field coming around. Randy, take it away.
All right, lights are off on the pace car. KD Osmond looking to get that massive jump again to where he can keep guys like AJ Rogers and Kyle Gilbert off his bumper, and he gets a great jump as the pace car dives off. Green flag is out. Coming into turn 1, Kyle Gilbert and AJ Rogers are going to battle it out for the second position, but not forgetting the 21 of Ricky Harden. All of those guys, I mean, they are technically they were 3 wide for a second, with both of them being on the outside of AJ Rogers, but Kyle Gilbert gets the advantage off of turn 2 and takes second position away from AJ Rogers.
So Ricky Harden now in the 3rd, Rogers falling back to 4th, but out front, KD Osmond opening up almost a half a second lead already over the 58 of Kyle Gilbert, and it looks like he's starting to pull away. Nothing more satisfying to hear in your ears than you're the leader and pulling away.
Sean Cool back in 6th position, battling with 96 of Eric Teska, and Steve Baker coming as well. Eric Teska, he's been all over the place tonight. He was in the back for a little bit. Now he's up in the top 5. I'd expect these guys to finish right about where they're at right now if they go green flag.
Eric Teska in at 96, winning the last 2 races in a row, but having some work to do to hit the top spot here tonight, as he is running in 5th place, now almost 2 seconds behind our leader KD Osmond. But Osmond's going to be hungry and really wanting that win, so he's going to be a tough one to pass, as Ricky Harden in the 21 on the outside of Kyle Gilbert going to make the pass. AJ Rogers going to try and follow in his tire tracks, but Rogers going to get into the wall there a little bit and break up his momentum. Ricky Harden going to try and track down the leader now.
Jerry West back in 15th position, the last car on the lead lap, ahead of a group of cars that are a couple laps down. Nowhere near, he's about 7 seconds behind Peyton Johnson, who is in 14th. So Jerry West just trying to put the race together to get a good finish on the lead lap here tonight with 49 laps to go. Or not 49, 39.
Well, we'll keep trying to send you to school, Randy.
Hey, I got the numbers for the grid right tonight.
You know what? That you did. Great job so far tonight, Randy. Appreciate you joining me in the booth here tonight. Always a pleasure having you here. But and we've got some spectacular racing on track. The 17 in a heated battle with the 58. These two really haven't decided who's going to finish where yet. And for a moment, I thought they were going to take each other out, but they settled it and have resumed the chess match and trying to outmaneuver, outposition the other.
You think anybody's going to be able to catch KD Osmond? I mean, he has been all over the place tonight with, he's been real close with battling for 3rd and 4th, and now he's pretty much gapped these guys in 2nd.
Yeah, it would take a caution right now for the field to catch up to him, and I'd be worried about using up my equipment too fast, too early here. But KD, very talented driver. One of the drivers that knows how to take care of his equipment and come on strong in the later stages of a race or a tire run even. And right now, he's out front doing exactly what he needs to do to win this race.
Yeah, I view KD Osmond right now as that scene in Talladega Nights where the guy's just sipping tea, or racing the car. So that's kind of how I feel KD Osmond is right now. But we do have a caution. It looks like Justin Rigsby is going to be in it as well in the 54 machine.
And we did not make it to lap 125 as YouTube chat was gambling when the 24 would crash again. And it's only lap 120. They missed it by 5 laps. Sean Cool going around here. Let's back this up. See what happened to that 24 machine.
Trying to watch it myself, and I'm not 100% sure on what happened there.
Sean Cool getting touched by, looked like the 54, I believe, of Justin Rigsby.
Yep, definitely got some contact from the 54 of Justin Rigsby. Just got loose, lifted up the rear end of that car a little bit, got some air underneath it, and got really, really loose.
Rigsby had a good run on Sean Cool, but oh man, that's a tough break for the 24 and the 54. Meanwhile, KD Osmond has hit pit road and has already come off of it. First car to exit pit road. Kyle Gilbert gaining a spot over Ricky Harden in the 21. So a bit of a pit road shakeup. We weren't able to bring it to you due to trying to watch the replays and how fast things happen. So Steve Baker not pitting, staying out there on older tires. Might be the only play he had as he was coming from about 6th or 7th. Decided not to take tires. Maybe he felt if he took tires he didn't have a chance to win. Now he's got some track position. Might have a shot at it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely a huge gamble for Steve Baker. If he saw the line that KD Osmond was running, he might have a chance to stay ahead of KD, who's gonna be starting on the outside line this time, front row. So if Steve Baker can hold off KD Osmond, I don't think he's gonna be hurting too bad.
Oh, Baker in that 55 machine. He's got a work cut out for him in this situation because that 88 was flat out getting it. Kyle Gilbert, Ricky Harden, those guys charging through as well. And then you look a little further back, you got Eric Teska in 5th place and AJ Rogers is falling all the way to 6th as he had a little bit of a longer pit stop, so he lost some ground there. He's got to be kicking himself some, but sometimes the pit stops just don't go your way, and that 17 machine is going to really try to charge through the field here in the final 25 laps or so.
Absolutely. I think he's had the strongest car all night, and he's been able to get by everybody pretty easy without getting a bunch of damage. I mean, he's got a little bit of a crinkled fender, it looks like, but pretty clean car. But we should have a good restart here with Steve Baker out front. Hopefully he doesn't spin the tires with everybody behind him and cause some chaos.
All right, getting down to the final 25 laps. Steve Baker on the front row inside for this restart, in control, waiting for the pace car. There it goes. And Baker, green flag is out.
Green flag.
The 55 out in front of this field. The 88 of Osmond going to try the outside. Gets a huge run, has to check up on it. Going to try down into turns 3 and 4. Here comes the rest of the field as Osmond trying to find a way around this 55 machine.
Osmond trying to get around him so that he can get ahead of everybody else. As Steve Baker's going to let him on the inside. Gets real close. The 21 of Ricky Harden now going to push for second around Steve Baker and start closing that gap on KD Osmond.
Osmond out front. Ooh. Baker, big time net code.
Around. Wow, that
Bristol
was big time net code.
Known for its net code issues, and that was a huge net code deal. man, you could see 3 or 4 car lengths between the 55 and whatever car it decided to hit.
Yeah, that was the worst case of netcode ever, and I am not a big fan of using that word.
Yeah, Bristol, things happen so fast here at Bristol. It's very susceptible to the netcode issue. That 55 machine looks like it really would have to have been the 21, I think, getting into him. If we back the replay up, we'll watch it one more time from the blimp. We'll go on the nose of Ricky Harden. See, they dive down into the corner here. And yeah, that 21 does take a crumpled fender, but still had a good 3 or 4 feet of space between them.
And that's really unfortunate for Steve Baker because he was gearing up for a top 5 finish. I mean, we've got about 30 laps left, and he was going to be able to hold those guys off. He would have had a top 5 finish. So now he's going to have to go in and get new tires because he's going to be at the back of the pack either way. If I'm him, I'm going to take tires and try to work my way back up there.
Yeah, Bristol really has a hard time with netcode. I was in a sprint car race battling for a top spot, and I went down low and there was a car all the way up on the high side, and it netcoded us, and you probably could have fit a whole nother car plus another car in between us. So a bit of an issue that iRacing has to work on, and that was just unfortunate.
Like my football coach used to say, you could have driven a truck through that hole.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, things happen so fast here at Bristol. The computer predicted that the 21 was going to crash into the 55. That didn't happen, and we end up with the netcode.
Yeah, netcode, trying to predict where these cars are going to go really isn't the best thing because, I mean, look on the road side of things. You go, there's so much lane changing, and even at Bristol, there's so much lane changing where I think you just got to let the guys predict their own races and not have a computer try to tell you what's going on.
All right, so the field under caution. Let's bring up our caution count here. We've had 11 cautions for 54 laps. We got 20 laps to go, 6 lead changes. K.D. Osmond has led for 36 laps. A.J. Rogers has led for 41. And Sean Rocket Fuel Cool has led for 48.
Sean Cool back in 15th position, 1 lap down. He's the last car on the lead, or he's the first car a lap down. So if we get one more caution, he will be back on the lead lap, pending if he doesn't get caught up in it.
All right, field working its way down the backstretch, getting ready to go back to green for the final 18 lap shootout here at Bristol. K.D. Osmond looking for his first win, but so is that 17 of A.J. Rogers and the 21 of Ricky Harden, and away we go. Osmond getting a good jump over Harden. But it looks like Ricky going to try and chase him down. Into the 3 and 4 they go. Harden using that really fast line where it really uses up your tires. He enters in the middle, throttles up, and lets the car turn under throttle.
We do have a caution come out. Looks like it's Andreas Lambert and the 98 of Aaron Tolhurst.
Caution coming out once again. We have got it here on replay as the 70 of Andy Lambert working around the 86 and the 22. Lambert going to tag the outside wall, goes spinning. Aaron Tolhurst with nowhere to go, coming off the corner 3 wide. Going to get into the back of him. We ride on board with Tolhurst just to see how fast all this comes down. And that's how fast things happen here at Bristol.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. That we've seen guys get loose and push up, or not loose. We've seen guys push up out of the corner and catch that wall. And sometimes if you just hit it the right way, it'll send you diving down to that inside wall, and it can be really scary because at that point you're a 150-mile wrecking ball is what you turn into.
All right, caution is out. 14 laps to go. The front of the field really hasn't changed a whole lot. Katie Osmond in the 88 machine, the 21 of Ricky Harden, Kyle Vincent Gilbert in the 58. In fourth is the 17 of AJ Rogers, and rounding out your top 5 is the 29 of Preston Boers, who has battled back and now he is inside that top 5.
Should have about 13 laps to go when we go green this time. So we'll have a 13-lap shootout. Should see some really good racing. I think we've got 15 cars on the lead lap right now.
We saw the 24 of Sean Cool get the wave around. He's back on the lead lap. But with the laps winding down, it's going to be hard for him to get back to the front. But Sean Cool back on the lead lap.
Back on the lead lap. He can get a couple more positions, but I would say it's going to be tough for him to get back to the front to try and win this thing, as he does go down pit road this time.
Lights are still on the pace car. Field has got to be as anxious as we are to get this race going. Now lights are out. KD Osmond can be restarting on the inside of row number 1. On his outside, the 21 of Ricky All-Star Harden. Got that name because he won the All-Star event. Kyle Gilbert and AJ Rogers making up row number 2 for this restart. 12 laps to go right now. When they take the green, it'll be 11 laps to go. Waiting patiently for that pace car to get out of the way. Move, Ford Mustang, move. And there it goes. And Osmond gonna get a good jump.
Green flag, green flag.
Clearing the 21 of Ricky Harden. AJ Rogers gonna challenge the 58. And Preston Boers gonna try and make it 3 wide. Thought about it for a minute as they went off into turn 1. Now down into 3 and 4. Gilbert gonna wash up a little bit. Rogers has to check up, and that has allowed Preston Boers to get down underneath him.
AJ Rogers battling with 29 of Preston Boers, 58 as well of Kyle Gilbert. Pretty strong battle for third coming up here soon, I do believe. And we should see, the 21 of Ricky Harden had to check up hardcore for Katie Osmond there. Man, this is going to be a good battle all the way back to 5th. Anybody's race, this is anybody's race at this point. As a 29 of Preston Boers right on the back bumper of AJ Rogers. Dylan Blankenship right behind Preston Boers, trying to get that 3rd spot.
With 7 laps to go, Osmond holding on to that top spot. But Ricky Harden all over his back bumper. Harden wants to try and win this thing, steal a win here. So we go on aboard with Ricky. You see he's losing a little bit of ground now. That seems like Osmond needed a few laps to get that car going. And coming around, 5 laps to go this time by.
Closing these final laps down. See a couple more aggressive moves. But these laps will go by real quick. We should have about a minute left of racing if we go green.
Lap time's super fast here. Down in the 15, even sub 15 seconds for some of the best lap times. Some of these drivers turning very quick times. 4 laps to go. Osmond still holding on to that top spot. Now make it 3 laps to go. This race going to end very quickly. And Ricky Harden washing up the corner there. really had to get out of the throttle. That has allowed Kyle Gilbert to close the gap on him. And now with 2 laps to go, Osmond able to pull away.
Osmond got a decent lead there. He's got about half a second on Ricky Harden right now, with coming to the white flag this time as Katie Osmond brings out the white flag. Got about still half a second in between him and Ricky Harden. Coming out of 4 right now, Katie Osmond is going to come across the line as the winner tonight. Ricky Harden in second, Kyle Vincent Gilbert in third, AJ Rogers fourth, and Preston Boris in fifth.
What a wild ride, and the race winner is going to be K.D. Osmond, picking up his first win of the season. That 88 machine fought tooth and nail for it. Ricky Harden coming in second, and third place, Kyle Vincent Gilbert. So guys, bear with us. We're going to set up our post-race show. We'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back to our post-race show where K.D. Osmond has been celebrating, and our second chair, Randy Post, has caught up with our third place finisher. That is Kyle Gilbert.
I have caught up with Kyle. Kyle, congrats on third place tonight. What were you thinking all race, that you were running up in the top 5 to 10 most of the race? And how was it feeling having a battle for those positions tooth and nail?
Well, the toughest position there to get was staying in third on those restarts. Bottom lane it's really tough to stay up there, stay down there and maintain the position. I was having to keep it in throttle as much as I could, going through 1 and 2, and then I would have to slide job 3 and 4 to get in front of AJ there. That last one I barely made it. I got the all clear call as soon as I got on the straight, and I just pulled up, and I thought I might have something for Katie and Ricky there for a second, and then I just burnt my tires off maintaining that third place on the restart, and I didn't have anything for them. But yeah, it was a tough race. Didn't get the best qualifying lap. I was second in practice, and then I just botched my qualifying lap. I turned in too early and lost a good chunk of time, and I just had to battle my way through and survive the cautions and have good pit stops.
Yeah, not too many pit stops here tonight, as we ran about 150 laps, and you guys could go 75-ish laps on fuel. Was the tire wear more of a worry than fuel that you were looking for?
I was only worried about tire wear when some people would go in, some other. We stayed out more often than I thought we would. It's just a really great race, staying out on old tires most of the time. It was just, it would have been so tough to fight through the field with new tires. It wouldn't have been worth it that much to get new tires every caution.
All right. Well, coming to a close for the season, what are you thinking for the rest of the season as far as how you can make it to the playoffs and possibly a championship for this year?
Well, luckily I got the win at Talladega earlier in the year, my second RFC start. I've been up towards the front a couple times. I could have won at Dover, but had a incident there that took me out of the running. But I just need to continue to run up front. I'm excited to have my second podium in a row, and I'm just excited to continue the season. Hopefully, run for a championship.
All right. Well, I do want to say congrats on third again. Do you have any sponsor shout-outs you'd like to make before we move on to talking with Ricky here?
I'd just like to thank Troy for putting this great series on. My sponsor on my hood, Top Flight Computers. You can find them on Facebook and on website topflightpc.com, I believe. Just thank my teammates for helping me out. He wasn't in the race tonight because he had to work, but he was giving me tips on the track.
All right. Well, congrats on third place again. And I have caught up with the second place of Ricky All-Star Harden. Ricky, congrats on second place. What were you thinking all race running behind KD? How did you think you could beat him?
I started 10th, and I just, from the beginning, told myself patience. I tried to be as patient as possible. Finally got up there and just didn't do a very good job at saving my stuff. So I thought I was quick enough to keep up with him and may pass him for 2 or 3 laps after a restart, but after that it got too tight and I couldn't chase him down. It was just a tight track tonight, but just be patient, and ended up with the best finish I've had with RFC so far, so not too much to complain about. First would have been nice.
That's awesome. You were really pushing KD as hard as you could, and I seen you were running that high line, and you kind of had to check up. It looked like you were going to have something for him, but you had to check up hardcore on the high line.
Yeah, I got a run on him, but I didn't want to get into him. I'm not running for points. I've missed a few too many races, so I'd like to win, but I want to do it clean. I don't want to mess anybody else's chances up. So I was just trying to win, but trying to do it as respectful as possible.
Right. Well, I don't want to keep you here too late. Do you have any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to make tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks to Mike Wood Race Designs. Check him out if you need any paint jobs done. And big thanks to Troy and everybody at RFC that puts this together week in, week out. Everything runs pretty smooth. It's a great league to run with. I have a lot of fun, so I appreciate that.
All right. Well, that is Ricky All-Star Harden bringing home second place tonight. And I do believe KR has caught up with the winner tonight of KD Osmond.
I have caught up with our race winner, KD Osmond. Osmond, what a great race. You lead the most laps, a dominant car in the second half of this race. Tell us about your race and what it took to get you here.
Basically just like Ricky, I started back in 9th, so I was just telling myself patience. I thought I was gonna have like a 5th or 6th place car all night, but then a few accidents happened, and near the end of the race, people seemed to be using up their stuff really quickly, so I was able to pull out in front of people and just keep that lead.
You managed to hold off a hard-charging Ricky Harden. Were you able to feel the pressure at any time that he was putting on from that last restart, or were you never worried at all? You just knew you were going to win this thing?
Well, I was hoping I was gonna win, because last time we were here I was sitting in first, I got bumped and I finished second, so I was really looking for some revalidation here. But yeah, those last two starts, he was pretty close to me. So yeah, I was feeling some pressure from him.
Picking up your first win on the season already, though. You had a great run. You came in tonight almost locked in on points, but now the win really locks you in going into the postseason, playoffs and all that. How much stress does this pull off of you?
It takes off all of the stress. Now I can just try and get bonus points for the playoffs.
All right, well, any sponsors, shout-outs, thank yous that you would like to give for this epic win here at Bristol?
Yeah, first I would like to to say sorry to Troy, because I think the wreck we were involved in, or he was involved in, really is kind of my fault. And he didn't give me the penalty for it. He took it himself, so I kind of owe this race to Troy. And I'd like to thank my grandma and aunt and uncle. They watch every week, have watched every week since I started at RFC. You guys at MaxSpeedTV and everyone else at RFC.
All right, well, congratulations on your race win there, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And with all the stress relieved from you, man, you're going to start rolling in all those wins now.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
All right, race winner, K.D. Osmond, tonight here at Bristol. Congratulations, and Randy, man, I'll tell you what, this was a heck of a race tonight.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching these guys run around Bristol. I love night races. I love short track racing. So this had it all for me tonight.
It was an amazing night. Sure, we had some cautions, but I think for the most part, the racing was pretty spectacular. And one major netcode issue, but overall, man, a great night of racing here. As Racing for a Cause almost always puts on a good show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys run until the end if I can.
All right, so all that's left is to go through our results here, and your race winner was K.D. Osmond. Ricky All-Star Harden finishing second. Third place was Kyle Gilbert. Thank you guys for giving us the time to talk to you. AJ Rogers gonna round out in fourth. Fifth place will be Preston Boers. Sixth place going to Dylan Blankenship. Eric Teska finishing seventh. Eighth place, Peyton Johnson. Ninth will be Tyler Hilton. And 10th place will be John Johnson. And 11th will be the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum. Jerry West in the 86th, finishing 12th. 13th will be Andy Lambert. 14th, Steve Baker. And Sean Cool will round out your top 15.
16th is going to go to Douglas Wysocki. Justin Rigsby in 17th. Aaron Tolhurst in 18th. Russell Hancock 19th. Jeffrey Clifton in 20th. Nick Zonter bringing home 21st. 22nd is going to go to Brent Cool. 23rd, Gregory Willis. 24th, Troy Radford. 25th is going to go to Zach Coyer. 26th, Rick Greenaway. 27th, Chris Berg. 28th is going to come home to Dustin German. 29th being the 388 of Douglas R. Johnson. 30th is going to go to Sean Wilder. 31st, Chad Meadows. 32nd, Daryl Ricketts. 33rd, David Roach. And 34th, Dustin Ping.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget, next Tuesday, August 28th, 8 p.m. Central, Racing for a Cause will be tackling the Johnsonville 90 at Road America. And then on Wednesday nights, here in just a little bit, the late model series for Racing for a Cause will be firing up for an 8-week season. That will be broadcasted right here on MaxSpeedTV. So, guys, that'll do it for us. Randy, thank you once again for joining me. I had a blast doing this with you.
All right, thanks for having me, KR.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
MaxSpeedTV would like to thank our partners here at MaxSpeedTV, starting with the Colby Eye Paints. If you're in the market for a new paint job for your car, check out Colby's Eye Paints on Facebook. Need a replica paint of your real-life car? Colby's Eye Paints has you covered. Check out Colby Eye Paints on Facebook. Also by Hershy Design. Hershy Design Company is your one-stop graphics shop if you're in need of an iRacing paint, league, team, or business logo, or want the logo on some sweet swag. Hit up Orion at the Hershy Design Company. You can find them on Facebook by searching HERSHY Design Company. Also by the Sim Speed Shop, simspeedshop.com. You can check them out for all your iRacing sim needs. Ohio IndyCar League jumping on board this season with as an official sponsor of MaxSpeedTV. They are also accepting not just patrons from Ohio, but from all over. Also, iBog for all your iRacing broadcast overlay graphics done specifically by Jason Allison, one of the masters at it. So thank you to Jason. And also, last but not least, Wise Guys. You can check them out at Reverb Nation. That is spelt with a Z. So check them out on Reverb Nation. We would like to thank all of the sponsors at MaxSpeedTV and partners.